The National Basketball Association is one of the largest professional sports leagues in the world, with millions upon millions of viewers tuning in annually to watch basketball games throughout the Summer League season, preseason, regular season, playoffs, and the NBA Finals. Such a well-established league, of course, has its own rules and regulations that apply to all areas of the league and personnel, including players, coaches, and even the cities in which the teams are located and the buildings in which these teams operate. Among these rules and regulations, there are a few that stand out as seemingly odd or peculiar to casual fans and viewers, and others seem to make no sense at all, even to the most avid fans of the NBA who have been watching for years and would claim to be experts themselves. As a result of violating these rules and regulations, those guilty are subject to any combination or implementation of suspensions, fines, firings, and in the most extreme cases, bannings. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at one of the most peculiar fines that has been handed out in the history of the National Basketball Association, and it's quite shocking, not going to lie. Without further ado, buckle up. Today, our story will take us on an adventure to the career of a lesser-known player who somehow managed to rack up one of the most unique and peculiar fines ever given in the history of the National Basketball Association. Let's hop in our time machine and head back to the 2006-2007 regular season. The Los Angeles Lakers, arguably one of the best franchises in all of the NBA, were heading into the All-Star break with a record of 30 wins and 24 losses. They had playoff hopes and aspirations, and were looking to stay focused after All-Star weekend in order to solidify their playoff standing and their hopes for competing in an NBA Finals championship. At this point in the season, most teams are looking to limit their distractions while also solidifying their player roles heading into the postseason. The Lakers, no different, were looking to do exactly that. However, they would soon find themselves in a very interesting position. Allow me to introduce you all to Vladimir Radmanovic. Vladimir Radmanovic was a Bosnian player drafted 12th overall in the 2001 NBA draft by the Seattle Supersonics. Rest in peace. He was a 6'10" big man who could also shoot a little bit from the outside, and he was looking to make a big splash in the NBA after coming over from Europe. After bouncing around at the beginning of his career, Radmanovic eventually found himself on the Lakers roster and was fighting for positioning within the team. Prior to the 2006-2007 season, Radmanovic had seen limited success and had already bounced around between a couple of teams, and his career was at a crossroads. This season was an opportunity for him to make a statement about his career and fight to become a truly solid player in the NBA, with hopes of carving out a big role for a contending team. Unfortunately, he would be unable to make the impact that he was hoping for. The 2007 NBA All-Star Game was held on February 18th of 2007 in good old Las Vegas, Nevada. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, would be named the most valuable player of the All-Star Game, and the Western Conference All-Stars would end up beating the Eastern Conference All-Stars with a final score of 153 points to 132 points. However, on February 17th, just one day before the All-Star Game, our friend Vladimir Radmanovic found himself 430 miles away from Las Vegas in beautiful Park City, Utah, a resort town east of Salt Lake City, renowned for its quality snow and luxury lifestyle afforded to those with large cabins in the mountains. Radmanovic was snowboarding on the slopes when he fell while going down a run, and it ended up separating his shoulder. Radmanovic reported his injury to the Lakers once he was able to receive a diagnosis for his injuries, but he told the Lakers front office that he had slipped on ice while walking somewhere in Utah. Yeah, not a great look for the team. To add insult to injury, pun definitely intended, the NBA had strong rules and regulations at the time about players being unable to ski while under contract, which has since been updated to also outlaw snowboarding. Eventually, Radmanovich came clean with the front office and told them that his guilt about lying to them had been overpowering, and he convinced himself to confess to having injured himself while snowboarding. The fact that he lied to his employer and violated league rules both added up to leave him with a whopping fine of $500,000. While this is not even close to the largest fine ever handed out by the NBA, what makes this the most peculiar fine in NBA history is that Radmanovich was on contract with the Lakers that year for a salary of $5.2 million guaranteed, which means he was fined nearly 10% of his entire salary simply for taking some time to enjoy the fresh pow and snowboard down the backcountry, or in his case, flail and fall enough to get hurt going down the backcountry. Either way, Radmanovich ended up missing a bunch of games in time throughout the remainder of the season, and the Los Angeles Lakers would go on to lose to the Phoenix Suns 4-1 in only the first round of the NBA playoffs that year. Overall, not a great look for the organization, and definitely this incident did not help out with Radmanovich's career aspirations. Vladimir would go on to have a decent 12-year NBA career, playing most notably in role positions, never truly averaging more than about 10 points per game, and he continued to bounce around with random teams until he ultimately retired in 2013. As with everything in life, it is easy to see that there are plenty of lessons to learn whenever we face a trial, a problem, or in this case, a hefty fine. In Vladimir Radmanovich's specific situation, the lesson here is pretty clear. Don't lie to the people who pay you, and don't do things that are explicitly stated in your contract that you are not allowed to do. I'm sure that Vladimir did not go snowboarding again during his career, and he likely learned his lesson after such a large fine. Overall, I think it's safe to say that being fined 10% of your entire salary for taking one day of snowboarding, then lying about it, is something that none of us will ever experience in our lives. However, if you do find yourself in that exact situation and you have your ticket punched on your way to Park City, Utah, perhaps you should think about our dear friend Vlad. Thanks for tuning in this week, and as always, good night and good luck.